can't understand the Financial Times pattern. Actually, I'm really upset about all this, and I'm going to cancel my subscription to get that. Anyway, I wonder what he makes of the American DJs on Radio Laser, which is certainly winning friends with the public. So Earsay sailed out to Radio Laser's ship, the Communicator, in the North Sea to meet the people behind the station and behind the record decks.
If you've been twiddling with your radio dial over the last couple of weeks, you may have come across a brand new pirate station called Laser 558. Well, there she is.
Europe's newest radio station, Laser 558.
All hit radio, Laser 558, 20 before the hour, the Paul Dean Show.
In the current speculation over Britain's pirate radio stations, Laser's created the biggest stir in only its first month on air. This has been achieved by an aggressive hard sell mix of hits and self-promotion. It's ironic that the newcomer is moored less than a mile away from Radio Caroline, the first pirate ship which began broadcasting 20 years ago. What makes Laser different is the scale of its ambitions and that the money behind it, its crew and DJs, are all American.
Hello. Hello. Hello there, welcome
Hi.
aboard.
Nice to see you. Thank you very much indeed. I see the galleys here.
This is the galley where the crew of goodies produced. Take you back on a look at the studios. Yeah.
Okay. Financed to the tune of $2 million from Madison Avenue, Laser transmits a signal powerful enough to reach from Cardiff to Norway. Its promoters, Music Media International, claim to be ushering in a new era of pan-European advertising, which will draw on multinationals such as Kodak and Levi's. But how, when you're 20 miles from the Essex coast and not allowed to enter Britain for fear of arrest, can you keep a station supplied with its lifeblood, records?
We have a variety of ways of getting records. Many came over with the vessel after it left Port Everglades, Florida. We do get some off of our satellite system, our satellite telephone, and occasionally we will take them off the air from a VHF station if that's necessary.
What, you'll actually pirate them from another radio station?
Is that pirating?
But that's not all they pirate. For instance, they take their news from the BBC without paying for it. And the trouble is that sitting in international waters and supplied from Spain, which never signed the 1967 Marine Broadcasting Offences Act, there isn't much anyone can really do about it. Do you consider yourself a pirate?
No, absolutely not. It's all an American crew. We're in international waters. It's a Panamanian ship. We don't even consider that the programming we're doing has any inkling of that, of being a pirate.
We're broadcasting from international waters, so we're completely legal. I don't see what complaint there can be.
Well, radio stations have to be signatories to the Geneva Convention as far as allotting frequencies are concerned. You've just taken 558.
I don't know how to respond to that, actually.
Laser.
Respond or not, according to the Irish radio station RTE, Laser's signal interferes with their broadcast to London. But that doesn't seem to concern Laser's marketing president.
There are certain laws which prohibit broadcasting within the territorial waters, or certainly on land. But once you're out beyond the territorial limit, the sea is free. It's one of the last completely free areas on Earth. Just as when you take a cruise, you can have a cocktail and there's no tax on the cocktail, the prices are quite reasonable. There are no regulations at sea.
So what Laser's done with its freedom is provide Europe with the proven formula of an American top 40 station.
This is Laser 558. Join us this weekend for a 60s Sunday.
The music policy is to play the hits mixed in with some new records and a variety of oldies from the past.
The pre-packaged music is picked up by a satellite receiver on board Laser from their programmer in New York. But how can he be in touch with what's happening 3,000 miles away?
Don't play with me 'cause you're playing with fire.
Madison Avenue office keeps pretty well up on what's happening, and I think they follow the European charts pretty well. And on our regular runs from Spain, those ships bring the records, and some we get by satellite transmission, and it's a pretty efficient system right now.
The fact that the records are programmed in New York does bother me a little bit, because I think we're out here and we're in a somewhat better position to judge what's happening with current music and what's happening with the station day by day. Time will tell if this system is going to work all right or not. So far, it sounds okay.
Music on the way from Kenny Loggins and Michael Jackson. Right now, it's Womack and Womack.
But how's the patent formula working back on land?
No, I never heard of it.
No?
Yeah, listen to it sort of whenever I can.
They play 60s and Motown stuff. And I like that type of music, because they don't play all this sort of boring pop music that you get on Radio 1.
When you listen to Radio 1, it's the same every day. It's the same person every day. You know, it's exactly the same music, pop music all the time. This is different, mixes it all together.
Radio 1 and those sort of stations don't really cater for the kids, I don't think. I think they push more or less what they're plugging in the charts at the time. Not pop, really, the mindless side of music, really.
It just doesn't do heavy music or light music, sort of quite a good cross-section, as opposed to Radio Caroline, something like that.
Well, I think Radio Caroline has been going after a different audience over the past few years. They certainly don't play the hits the way we do. They don't play all hits all the time, which, of course, is our policy. I think they may perceive of us as competition, though, because having listened to them, I've heard them go through some changes since we've come on the air.
There has been a claim by Laser that Caroline's format has changed significantly since Laser has been on the air with the top 40. What effect has it had on Caroline?
Well, absolutely no effect at all. I mean, we're an album station. They're, as I understand it, a top 40 station. Their prime objective is the Radio 1 capital radio audience. I found the hard sell American thing is not totally sincere, I think. Don't quite know, how to define it, but it's a sort of a hard, brash, knock them over the head and you'll win.
558, where we invite you to join us this weekend for a 60s Sunday.
But it's not at all clear that they will win. So far, no ads have been run, and for the last week they've been off the air with transmitter problems. So who are the investors taking such a risk?
Well, it's a group of investors who really prefer to remain anonymous. They have stock in a corporation, and which is incorporated in Panama, and they're not in it for fame and fortune, just as a good, solid business investment.
Their investment, however, is based on selling music which they haven't paid for, as anyone in the music industry will tell you. Do you think that it's fair that a station like Capital Radio should have to pay £30 every time they play a record in royalty and other payments, when Radio Laser is sitting out there on the North Sea, not paying a penny?
It's not fair at all, of course. It's, laser, the pirate stations are illegitimate, and they have an edge, a major advantage, in that they are acting illegally and they're not paying their proper dues. They should be paying.
On Monday, Spandau Ballet released their new album, Parade, produced in Munich with all songs written by Gary Kemp. Here's one of the numbers. Here's Highly Strung.